Welcome to the podcast, Let's Talk PWS, a series all about Prader-Willi syndrome. I'm Susie.
And I'm Katie. Let's start talking.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 19, PWS and Sport, with Special Olympics ambassador, the very gorgeous Daria Varlamova, and also Chelsi Albana's Katie. I'm so excited that these two gorgeous women are in the studio with us. Why don't you introduce them?
Daria is a psychotherapist, former Miss Universe Australia and ambassador for Special Olympics Australia. Daria brings a unique lived experience to her work, moving between the worlds of support work, pageantry, psychology and disability advocacy, and is passionate about breaking down stigma and helping people feel seen, capable and valued through her own therapy work and public speaking. She explores confidence and resilience and creating spaces where difference is not only accepted but celebrated. And next to her is my Miss Universe, Chelsi. She's 26 years old with Prader-Willi syndrome and inspires me every single day. She attended mainstream and special development schools and was part of the NDIS pilot program in Canberra and was one of the first 36,000 participants on the scheme. She participated in Special Olympics swimming, and after finishing high school, Chelsi played rugby for the NRL score team for Canberra Raiders. She now attends Fit for Life in Sandringham, Marriott House, BAM Arts dance class, and has been supported by the Orange Hive for 3 years and Line Support and Care for 2 years. Chelsi has also been part of 3 medical trials to help advance the medicine in Prader-Willi syndrome.
Excellent. Wow, what an accomplishment, young Chelsi. That's amazing. So over to you, Daria. I'd love to understand, I'm sure our listeners would too. So how did you get involved in Special Olympics and to become the ambassador?
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. And it's an honor to sit here alongside Chelsi. You know, you've made amazing contributions to this space. You really are our Miss Universe. We love you so much. So I was crowned Miss Universe Australia in 2021. And prior to that, let's backtrack a few years. I was a support worker. I was living in Perth. I was studying my bachelor degree. And I was doing support work on the side. This is prior to all the NDIS. It was way before that. I've always known that I wanted to work in that space. I just had the pull. And there were a lot. The barriers to entry were very low at that stage. I saw an ad on Gumtree for a support worker for a young lady. I met with her social worker and her parents, and then I became her support worker. Of course, I had all the relevant trainings, but it was very character-based, the hiring process at the time. And when I won Miss Universe Australia a few years later, I was already in Melbourne, and I thought, you know, I still feel that pull to contribute something to this space. And in a full circle moment, I wanted to use my title and my newfound platform for good. And so Special Olympics Australia was on my radar. I knew about the organisation and all the great initiatives that they had. And I wrote a letter to the then CEO, Pierre. And in this letter, I detailed a little bit about my story and why I wanted to get involved with Special Olympics Australia. And he responded, and before you know it, they flew me down to Sydney, and I went to their Mother's Day lunch and I met the team. And yeah, it's been, I think, 4 years now of my ambassadorship with Special Olympics Australia. And in that time, I met the most incredible people such as yourself and the most amazing young athletes. And yeah, it's just blown my mind. It's been an incredible experience.
What sort of activities do you get involved in before we talk about the events that are coming up?
Yeah, what does it actually entail?
What does a day in the life of an ambassador look like?
That's a good question. So a lot of it involves attending the events, you know. I speak at the events as well. I tell the audience about my experience, and I use my industry connections to bring light to Special Olympics Australia, you know, such as we had an activation, or for lack of I know you don't like that word. We had an event at the MCG a few years back, and I had my team, you know, my videographer come down, and we spotlighted the athletes and created a beautiful atmospheric cinematic piece, a short video are real. I think, as you guys know, content in this day and age is really important, especially for shining light on organisations such as Special Olympics Australia. You know, fundraising is always a big part of these organisations, and you know, what better way to get the word out than through social media. So using my industry connections and my platform, and using my own social media as well to speak about this incredible organisation that I'm so passionate about.
Excellent.
Yeah, I remember when you spoke at our Mother's Day event.
Yeah.
And from that event, 2 of the mums there, their kids are now have been selected as on the Victorian team for the national games. So just from that one event. So you have been so inspiring. So thank you for that work, and thank you for being a part of our community, because with Prader-Willi syndrome, of course, it's so important to have a healthy lifestyle and to be a part of a community that's lifelong, because it's not just for a couple of years, it's for 35 years or 40 years that you can participate. There's no end date. So that's something that's really exciting for us, is that our kids can be a part of something that's healthy and fun, and a part of a team with coaches and mentors and people who are really going to help them to be in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an incredible community. You know, I've met so many people throughout the process, and, you know, the parents and the parents getting a community around them, the support network. I think that's so important, as well as, you know, the athletes, the lifelong friendships that they make, the skills that they gain, the confidence. It's been incredible to see this kind of arc, this development arc. Some of the athletes, you know, I got to know them at the start of their journey, and now they're absolute superstars. Their confidence has just skyrocketed. So, yeah, it's incredible.
Brilliant. So good.
So before we talk about some of the upcoming events, I just wanted to tap into a point you made then. So when you say some of their skills have really, increased and capacity and so forth. So what about, because we know, I mean, my daughter, she gets knocked back from so many different things because of behaviour. So Special Olympics, do they cater for things like challenging behaviour and refusal and defiance and just basically causing a ruckus? You know, how does someone that is that challenge get into Special Olympics?
That's a really good question. And look, I think this very organisation, you know, it's based on the premise of grassroots sports and community and supporting people living with intellectual disability and or autism. So it's really, they created this environment for people who maybe in mainstream society, you know, their behaviour was deemed as difficult, but really, you know, why should they change? It's our society as a whole that needs to be more inclusive and cater for all kinds of people. We're not all the same, and yet it's so disheartening that our society is constructed in this way in 2026. So that's why it's so important, or PWSA and Special Olympics Australia, you know, organisations like that, creating this safe, inclusive space where people like that could shine, and they told, you're not too much, you know, this message that you're actually not too much, and this is the space where you can just be yourself and shine, because this is a space that caters for you. And in this day and age, as you guys know, having daughters with disabilities, it's not everywhere that you find spaces like this. So when you do, it's a really beautiful thing, and you need to hold on to that. And that's why we need to spread these messages, right?
Absolutely.
And why more people need to know about these organisations.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, inclusion, we are, as a society, we're far from being inclusive. And it was only recently where we had that exact example, and it was an organisation that caters, I won't name names, but it was an organisation, let's just say it involved horses and catering for disability. And we had that very scenario where Stephanie just absolutely lost it. She was expecting this and got that, and she just became so dysregulated, and the response was, don't come back.
Oh, wow. Really?
Shame on them.
No.
I was absolutely just, you know, really, really quite heartbroken for her, because that's something that she really strives to get involved in. And then, you know, that door being shut, that just, you know, ruled her out for being included, which is devastating.
which is
Yeah.
such a shame because it just takes a few more goes and then
Yeah.
she's used to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not it's not different. It's not different to her expectations. It just takes a couple more times. When I moved back to Melbourne, I worked for Basketball Australia, and the Olympics were on that year, but we were all locked down in Melbourne and the world was locked down. And so they did the Olympics the following year. And what we noticed, our jaws were dropping because during the Olympics, they weren't just hitting world records, they were smashing world records after 2 years of not training properly. And what it told us is that the champion mindset's actually a thing. So they crush obstacles, they ignore challenges, and they just keep going. And
Yeah.
I know that Chelsi and kids with Prader-Willi and kids with disabilities are the same. They just have to have that champion mindset where they've got to just keep charging, keep working. It's really a work ethic. And it's so much to teach us about how we should go through life and how we should lift, keep going and just keep crushing the challenges. That's what's the most inspiring thing when you go to the games, the Special Olympics games, is seeing these kids who have to work so hard every waking moment just to be here, and yet they are still absolute champions. And it's that real mindset of I've just got to work really hard and I just accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, Katie. And hearing about these experiences is so disheartening. And I think what I really want to see is the intersection of mainstream media and inclusion for people with disabilities too, because the more I think society as a whole are exposed to inclusion and disability, I think inclusion is very I think it's very limited.
Absolutely.
Inclusion, they are inclusive in terms of different ethnicities and different heights. In terms of me speaking from what my experience as a model, working as a model in the past, they're so inclusive around that. And yet disability is the one thing that's lagging behind. There's a real lack of representation, and it is changing, but it needs to be changing a lot more rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that people like your daughter don't have these experiences, especially in spaces that they deem to be safe.
Yep.
And catered towards them, because they will walk away thinking, if I go to this place where it's meant to be the safe space catered for people just like me, and I still am ousted from this space, what message is that sending them, that they're too much? It's really unacceptable.
Yeah, it's just a lack of skill, a lack of respect for what
And a
our
lack
kids
of
actually
patience.
bring to to the world. How much they train people and lift skills and improve us as a society. It's such a lack of acknowledgement and respect. So
I think respect is a really strong word, and I really like that you said that. And something that stands out from our conversations, Katie, you always say, people with disabilities, your daughter Chelsi, you always say they're rock stars, they're superstars, they're teaching us so much about the world. They're being involved in fundamental research that's going to catapult us further as a society. And yet, they're framed in a way that they are too much and they need, special considerations, but yet not many people are talking about, or not many organizations in mainstream media or in a general society are talking about their, amazing contributions to this world. And that's why I think organizations like Special Olympics Australia, that's where they really excel, really pedestaling these athletes and showing like how incredible they are, incredibly skilled, incredibly resilient. And also I think a big part of sport is that attitude, that resilience, that camaraderie. And what better role model like to people and to young people in general than a Special Olympics athlete, someone who puts themselves out there and maybe gets knocked back, or, maybe they don't get the result that they want and they still get back out there, with a smile on their face. I think they're incredible role models and they need to be pedestaled.
absolutely, because they'll take away everyone's excuses.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what about the upcoming events and where are they and how can people get involved?
Yeah, so Special Olympics Australia has partnered with the Law Enforcement Torch Run for a number of years, and they've actually got their polar plunge coming up throughout July and August. So anyone can get involved. You don't have to be involved with Special Olympics Australia. You don't have to be an athlete or a parent. Anyone can do this. So you can visit specialolympics.com.au and the details are there on how you can participate. But basically, it's a cold plunge for a great cause. You know, you're getting healthier and you're raising money. Their goal is to raise 500,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Law Enforcement Torch Run, LETR, they've been an incredible partner for Special Olympics Australia for a number of years now. And the next exciting thing is the National Games. So they happen once every 4 years and they're coming up in October. They're actually being held here in Melbourne, which is really exciting, throughout different locations in Melbourne, depending on the sport. And why this one is so special is it's the 50-year anniversary of Special Olympics Australia. They've been going since 1976. So this one's super special and really exciting, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Yeah, and tickets will go live on a website from July 9th, so you could go on that website, specialolympics.com.au and get your ticket.
And we'll put that in the chat as well so that people can get their tickets, because get amongst it. It's such a vibe. It's so exciting to see.
It's a vibe,
There's
right?
1,000
It's
athletes.
so fun.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. The atmosphere, I think, is really electric, and just being able to network and meet other parents, and it's an incredible event. I went to the one 4 years ago in Tasmania, and yeah, it was such a great time and I really loved it. It's over 5 days and they've got 900 athletes participating. So, yeah, it's huge.
What do they all do? So you were talking about, is it running? Is it team sport? What sort of activities?
They've got different sports. They've got individual sports and team sports. They've got soccer. They've got tennis. They've got basketball. A lot of the sports that you see on the Olympics, you know, the Special Olympics does as well. So individual and teams-based sports. They've now got dance as a demonstration sport, not a competitive sport, which is exciting for me to see because I grew up doing dance sport, you know, ballroom dancing and competitive dance, and it's really exciting to see that intersection of sports and the arts for me as well. I love that. I love that. I love to see them grow in this way. You know, they're adding more sports and more athletes are participating every year. As our awareness grows each and every year, it's really beautiful to see the community grow as well.
So exciting. Thank you so much, Daria. We've loved having you in our life, and thank you for all of the inspirational things that you're doing. I was there when you did the speech at the closing ceremony in Tasmania, and then you walked out into the crowd and all the kids, you're like their princess. That was your kingdom.
Very sweet. I loved it. Like, they're the most incredible people. I'm just very blessed and fortunate to be a part of this community.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. As we close tonight, don't forget to sign up as members at pws.org.au, where you'll also find ways to donate and sponsor our various projects and initiatives. Please remember to like, follow and share us on our socials. And until next week, let's keep talking.